I'm Helen Mae Gardner, 68, homeowner in Pine Hollow, Colorado. My daughter, Brooke, and her husband, Travis, arrived for a month. 2 months later, she slid a typed sheet across my own kitchen island like a foreman issuing shifts. "Starting tomorrow, these are your duties," she said. "If you don't agree, pack a bag. We're staying." The list was timed to the minute. 5:30 breakfasts, school run, sweeping, mopping, laundry blocks, dinner at 6, weekend deep clean, lights out at 11. In the margin, highlighted, "Use your pension for groceries and utilities." I didn't argue. I photographed the page, the clock, her hand, the granite, and texted one word to a contact labeled Beacon. On. At 7:10 a.m., I opened the fire safe and spread 3 documents on the dining table: my warranty deed, the property tax bill, and the Cal Blue Porch Fund. Trust certificate I established 3 years ago with attorney Carla Benton. The trust owns the house. I have lifetime occupancy. The board is me, Carla, and Mr. Jensen next door, retired fire captain. I slid everything into a blue folder stamped House Title and placed it next to my purse. 8:30, bank branch. I added a branch manager override code for any cashier's checks, set withdrawal caps, canceled the spare debit card Brooke had borrowed, and turned on text alerts for every transaction over $20. 9:15, carrier store, new SIM, new port-out PIN, in-person verification required, and a verbal passphrase no one in the family knows. 10:10, county recorder, deed fraud alert enabled on my parcel. The clerk printed my ownership page with a fat barcode. 10:40, hardware store, locking mailbox, 2 outdoor cameras, motion light, spare deadbolt cylinders, and a jar of UV powder. Back home, I mounted the cameras, dusted the inside of the mailbox with the glowing blue, took photos of every angle, then labeled a binder divider. Security setup. At noon, Carla walked in with a portable printer and 3 letters. "Notice of termination of any informal lodging," she said, handing me the first. 30 days to vacate or sign the trust lease at market rate. No cash, no keys. Second, no trespass. No guests without owner consent. Third, utility reimbursement agreement, if they chose to stay. "We serve these now," Carla said, "and we don't debate in hallways." At 1 o'clock, with the door camera blinking red, I gave Brooke and Travis the envelopes. He lounged on my sofa and smirked. She skimmed, then laughed without humor. "We've lived here long enough to have rights. Also, Mom, your money is for the house. Your options are in writing," I said. "Lease or leave." At 4:20, a man in a reflective vest muscled a 5-gallon bucket through my side gate. Not mine. More men followed with pry bars and a rolled backsplash. I filmed faces, plates, tools. "Permit?" I asked. "Lady said hurry," the foreman answered, jerking his thumb toward Brooke at the patio door. City code enforcement rolled up in under 20 minutes. A red "Stop work" sticker went on my door. The crew wheeled their buckets back to their van. I printed stills from the doorbell cam and opened a fresh tab. Unpermitted work, day 1. By dinner, Brooke posted, "Pray for my mom. She's confused. We moved in to help." Screenshot taken. Carla filed for a temporary anti-harassment order with the post attached. The judge signed a "No contact third-party messages." Within hours, day 2, 7:05 a.m., 2 officers at my porch. "Welfare check. Reports say you're barricaded by relatives." "Come in," I said, letting the camera see their badges. I laid out the deed, the trust certificate, and a print of the stop work sticker. No lease, no consent. Civil standby's fine. Under supervision, Brooke and Travis dragged 2 totes and a boxed king frame out to the driveway. Brooke tried to wheel my maple hutch along. I tipped it to show my name burned underneath with a branding iron and the year. The senior officer told her to set it down. The lens caught everything. Noon, my locking mailbox glowed under UV like a crime scene photo. The clip showed a wrist with a zigzag tattoo fishing inside. Deputy Ortiz recognized it. "Cousin," he said, and took the video on a thumb drive. I added a keyed hasp to the side gate and logged the key number on a sheet. Gate, issued to owner only. Day 3, 2 glossy county utilities past due door, hangers with a QR code for bank logins. I called the real number on last month's bill. "You're paid up, Ms. Gardner," the clerk said. I forwarded photos to their fraud inbox and dropped copies behind a new tab. Fish bills. Day 4, a process server, a fresh will, leaving my house to the Gardner Family Unit Trust with Travis as trustee. Witnesses, zigzag tattoo, and a salon friend. The signature didn't match my loops. Carla and I walked it to probate, filed motion to strike for fraud, attached the recorded Blue Porch Trust and specimen signatures from DMV and the bank. Stricken in big letters, copy to the DA intake, certified copies in plastic sleeves. Day 5, a yard sign sprouted overnight. Open house Saturday. Text for lockbox. Not mine. I set a dummy lockbox on the porch, aimed the camera, and texted the number from a spare phone. The reply spat a 4-digit code. Ortiz waited around the corner. A couple in weekend sneakers tried the box. Then a man with a clipboard and a fake badge marched up. Ortiz slid to the curb and made the stop. The clipboard listed my address and 3 others. Evidence bag, chain of custody form, tab, scams, lockbox. Day 6, a tow sticker on my Corolla for 72-hour abatement. In my own driveway. Parking supervisor confirmed no city order. I laminated a dash card. No private tow, city auth only. Call direct line. Mr. Jensen added a cone and a marker that read, resident. The sticker stopped. Day 7, 2 clipboards again. Adult Protective Services. The woman softened her voice. "We heard you're being coerced." "Great," I said. "Tell me your case number while I call the real APS." The real office had no file. I photographed the badges, emailed APS fraud, CC'd Ortiz, and filed it under fake officials. That evening, Brooke tried one more angle in the hall. "Handshake, no rent. We'll help," she purred. "No," I said. "Paper or door." She left a voicemail saying elder abuse and financial control. Carla forwarded it to the DA with our stack. The line went quiet. Day 8, 2 a.m. texts from me to Brooke. "Move in full time. I need you." Carla printed carrier logs showing no activity and a mismatched user agent. Detective Cheney added them to the file. Spoofing angle dead on arrival. On day 10, court stamped a protective deed order. No filings against parcel without leave. 5,000 for liquidated damages per instrument. Carla recorded it. Title screens now throw a red banner on my lot. The recorder called it a hot wire. I brought her lemon bars. Day 12, a money order slid under my door for the exact sum the bank had reversed, plus the home store attempt. No note. That night, Brooke deleted her posts. Day 13, her lawyer emailed, "Client requests a porch meeting to apologize and discuss rent." We didn't trade speeches. We set witnesses. Carla at the table, Ortiz at the fence, Mr. Jensen clipping roses within earshot. Brooke arrived with her hair in a plain knot and an envelope. "We'll pay or we'll go," she said. Inside, a typed apology and a $1,500 donation to Blue Porch Fund for senior legal clinics. I stamped, received, and filed it under public acknowledgement. That was the opening move. A week later, a licensed contractor measured for a clean split. Separate entrance for upstairs, new panel, sub-metering, and I ordered new cylinders keyed to my set only. The lease and the inspector's sign-off would come next. I don't shout. I date stamp. First part ends here. Ultimatum photographed, beacon on, paper stacked, badges checked, scams logged, court wired hot. The rest, meters, lease, rules, rent, goes in part 2. 2. Inspector signed off on the split Monday at 9:42 a.m. I photographed his badge, the green sticker, the panel labels. By noon, the electrician mounted the sub-meter for Unit B and tested the cutoff. "Upstairs is isolated," he said. I flipped the master to prove it. Video saved. Power, separate. At 1, I set the lease on the island with a walkthrough checklist, condition photos, and a handheld scanner. "Security deposit equals 1 month's rent," I said. "Proof of renter's insurance. Auto pay only. No cash." Brooke tapped the paper like it might bite. Travis asked for a handshake rate. I pointed at Section 1. Market rent. Pine Hollow, median. He signed. She signed. I scanned IDs, handed them copies, and affixed a paid deposit stamp to the receipt. Move-in for Unit B happened the next day. I rolled out a blue tape line where the common hall ends. New lock on the stair door, keyed to B only. I mounted a camera at the landing facing outward, privacy shielded. We did the inventory together. Blinds, smoke alarms, outlet covers, enamel chips in the tub noted. "Anything missing later is a deduction," I said. Travis tried a joke about hotel service. I wrote, "No services provided," in the margin and initialed it. Different angle from them by Wednesday. School office called. "Ms. Gardner, you authorized Brooke as primary contact?" "No," I said. I drove over with my folder. The clerk checked the form. Someone had penned my signature sloppy. I produced my specimen from DMV, and the principal replaced the card on the spot. I left a letter. No custody changes without notarized consent. Copy to Carla. Copy to the district. Thursday, a courier dropped free charity pickup stickers on my porch, offering to haul furniture today only. I peeled one, saw the burner number, and set a bait chair by the curb with a hidden AirTag under the seat. A white van idled 2 houses down. 2 men scooped the chair and the tag pinged straight to a strip mall. Deputy Ortiz and a patrol met them at the loading dock. Van held 3 other donations from our block. I printed the map and labeled it Theft Bait Chair. Friday brought a new nuisance. A bogus mechanic's lien recorded against my parcel from Mountain Crest Renovations, claiming unpaid work. Carla filed an affidavit of invalid lien with the clerk and attached proof of the red "Stop Work." On day 1, judge signed a release order. Recorder added a bright banner. Lion extinguished, fraud. Liquidated damages kicked in. $5,000 for the filer per the protective decree. I sent the certified order to the title company and slid a copy behind. Leon's, closed. Saturday, 5:06 a.m., a grocery delivery thumped at my door. 8 gallons of milk and 2 sheet cakes charged to my card. Not mine. I refused the order via the driver's app and called the store. They traced it to a guest account with my email misspelled by one letter. Bank reversed the pending charge in under an hour. I enabled card present only for groceries and printed the new control list for the binder. Merchant restrictions, active. Week 2, Unit B's thermostat started oscillating at midnight. I checked my system. Someone had paired a Wi-Fi remote. I factory reset the hub, changed the SSID, moved everything to WPA3, and posted the new network name on my fridge. Blue Porch A, not visible from the stair. I sent Brooke the maintenance channel. Email only. No DMs. No notes under doors. Travis tried an HOA complaint, even though Pine Hollow has none. He mailed a letterhead, neighborhood compliance notice citing my tomato planters. Mr. Jensen laughed, then used the letter in a Tuesday clinic to teach spot the fake header. No registration number, no P.O. box, pixelated seal. We stapled it to a handout. On the 15th, rent hit the trust portal with memo. Unit B rent. Good. That afternoon, a drone hovered over my yard. I snapped a photo at full zoom. The drone had a serial sticker. I filed an online report. Officer Cheney knocked 2 hours later with the hobbyist in tow. The man apologized and showed his registration. He'd been practicing. I printed the warning and added a note. Low flyovers trigger call. Brooke tried social leverage instead. Poster on the church board. Seeking care for elder, low cost. With my number. 3 strangers called before lunch. I posted a typed reply beneath it. Owner does not seek care. Call removed. The pastor removed the poster and emailed Brooke a polite rebuke. I filed the image under defamation community. Inspection week, I scheduled smoke alarm checks for both units. I knocked, entered with written notice, and pressed test buttons. B's hall detector was taped over with painter's tape. Lease breach, I said, photographing the tape. Travis tried to argue, sensitive to steam. Use the kitchen fan, I answered. I invoiced a $100 violation to the portal per Section 10. Paid within 3 days. Then came the mail trick. USPS hold placed online by customer request. I spoke to the postmaster, set in person only, for all holds and forwards, and registered with their identity lock. She printed 2 photography clear stills from the kiosk camera. A woman in a baseball cap feeding the kiosk my address. Hat, braid, zigzag wrist. Familiar. Ortiz took the stills. Unit B's noise popped next. Midnight subwoofer. I printed a notice to cure, with the decibel clause highlighted, and slid it under their door at 8 a.m. The speaker vanished that day. I logged. Cured. Timely. Our Tuesday clinic grew. We added a 5 calls card to every packet. Code enforcement, recorder fraud, APS real line, utility verification, postmaster. Mr. Jensen brought a demo panel and taught labeling circuits. The librarian ordered carbon copy. Incident log, sir. Pads with the donation Brooke made. I wrote. Gift acknowledged. On the back cover and shelved 1 in A and 1 in B's meter closet. End of the month we finished the boring parts. Renter's insurance certificates uploaded, smoke alarm retest passed, common hallway bulb replaced, cost billed $2.12, receipt scanned. I added a brass plate inside my door with lines etched neat as ledger. Owner, Helen M. Gardner, Blue Porch Fund, Insterna 2194, deed order, 14 PR 0092, appointments only. Show ID. No more ultimatums from anyone. When a clipboard knocks, I point to the plate, open the binder, and let dates do the talking. Next up is the hearing on the bogus lien filer and the follow-through on the school contact forgery. Paper keeps moving. So do I. 3. The bogus lien hearing landed on a wet Tuesday. I wore my blue jacket, carried the binder, and let Carla do the talking. Opposite us sat the filer, grease under his nails, clipboard still sporting a laminated logo he'd printed at home. The judge read our exhibits: stop work photo, trust deed, my baseline signatures, then asked one question. Were you ever contracted by Blue Porch Fund or Helen Gardner? His mouth opened and closed like a carp. Order. Lien voided. $5,000 liquidated damages. Referral to DA. I stamped. Judgment. Recorded. The minute we stepped out. By lunch, Deputy Ortiz pinged me. Zigzag cousin picked up on the van thefts and the mail hold. 2 separate cases. He'll plead, Ortiz said. Send me your restitution total. I sent receipts, lock sets, cameras, mileage to court, extra filing fees. Numbers beat speeches. Back home, I found a new angle taped to my door. County assessor. Interior inspection required. With a QR. I called the real assessor off last year's tax bill. We never do interior, she said. I printed the fake and filed under Fish 2, Assessor. Then I ordered an official revaluation myself, just to close any rumor Brooke might start about illegal improvements. The real appraiser walked through both units with Brooke present. He measured, snapped, nodded. 2 legal units. Notes reflect trust ownership. His report goes in lender's systems. Another lock clicks. 2 nights later, Unit B tried profit. The upstairs smart lock pinged 3 new codes at 11:07 p.m. Then footsteps, luggage wheels, laughter. I checked the porch cam and saw tourists snapping selfies with the pines. I opened the binder to section 12. No sublets, short-term stays. I knocked. A stranger answered wearing a ski pass. We booked on Guestway, he said, holding out his phone. Listing title: Cozy Pine Loft. Owner downstairs. My name nowhere. My house everywhere. I called Ortiz and stood aside. Civil standby only. Brooke texted frantic apologies. It's a one-time favor. While Travis argued semantics. Ortiz explained the difference between favor and business. The guests got refunds through the platform. I issued a notice to cure and a $250 fine. I replaced the upstairs cylinder the next morning and scrubbed the Cozy Pine Loft from the web with a takedown request, plus the judge's deed order attached. The platform complied in an hour. Paper beats hashtags. That weekend I ran a sublet scam 101 at the library. Mr. Jensen showed how to pull lock logs and correlate with doorbell entries. The librarian wheeled in a portable projector that Brooke's donation bought. I labeled it Trust Property, Asset 04, and signed it out to Blue Porch Clinic. We made laminated checklists, platform takedown steps, notice to cure template, when to call police. Folks left with copies and a pencil tucked in the coil. Next, Brooke tried Payroll Pity. A GoFundMe spun up with my face and the line, Help my declining mom keep lights on. She used a photo from 2 years ago when I'd had the flu. I filed a fraud report, attached the trust lease and my APS verification letter, and pinged the platform's legal inbox. Down within the day. I printed the takedown confirmation and stapled it under Defamation Online. Carla added the link to our no-contact file. Monday brought a real official, the school board investigator. He laid 2 sheets on my table, the forged emergency card and the camera still from the sign-in desk. The braid, the cap, the wrist. We'll discipline through the district, he said. And notify your attorney. Good. I don't need apologies. Just records. Rent posted on the 1st. I posted receipts on the 2nd. Auto pay memo. Unit B rent. Clean as a ledger. Then the heat went out upstairs. Emergency. Travis wrote at 9:58 p.m. I checked the lease. Emergencies require phone plus portal plus photo. His photo, thermostat, set to off. I replied with a one-line fix. Turn to heat. He sent back 3 apologies and a selfie with the flame icon. I logged. Resolved. Tenant error. Mid-month, Brooke floated. Elder abuse. Again, this time a formal intake with APS. Real staff called me. I invited them over at 10, laid out bank alerts, the lease, the clinic schedules, and the probate order. They closed the file in 15 minutes, left me a card, and took copies to train new hires on false reports. I filed their letter under Bob A's APUS, closed, and underlined the second sentence. Ms. Gardner is independent and organized. That same afternoon, a man in khakis tried my gate with a tape measure and a grin. Solar audit, big discounts for seniors. Permit number, I said, already dialing the Department of Regulatory Agencies. None. He left in a hurry when I read my passphrase to the carrier out loud and the porch cam clicked. I labeled the clip Solar, no credentials, and used it at Tuesday's session. The crowd laughed at the speed of his retreat. By the 20th, Brooke asked for a sit-down. We set it on the porch with daylight, witnesses, and my phone on airplane mode. We're struggling, she said. Could we trade chores for a discount? I slid the lease to her side and tapped Section 5. Monetary rent only, no barter. Then can we pay weekly? Travis asked. Portal handles monthly, I said. Up to you to budget. They nodded because paper had taken the air out of bargaining. 2 bright spots cut through the noise. Mason hammered birdhouse shingles straight and true, and Lily labeled Unit B's breaker list in tidy block letters that would make any inspector nod. I paid them in quarters and sticker sheets. They paid me in quiet elbows and focused eyes. We ate sandwiches on the back steps like field hands. The DA moved fast. Zigzag cousin pled on the van theft and mail tampering. Restitution started coming in money orders. $42.19, $86.07, $31 even. I logged each. Restitution, posted. The lien guy took longer. When the garnishment hit his check, Carla emailed me the docket. I sent her a rosemary plant from the nursery with a card that read, Planting Consequences. End of month, I audited both units. Filters swapped, CO alarms beep tested, ground fault outlets tripped and reset. B's tub caulk lifted at a corner. I photographed, patched, and billed $412 in materials. Travis paid without comment. The house felt orderly, not sentimental, just correct. I added one more brass line inside my front door. Present ID or wait outside. Not to be dramatic, to be efficient. Next up, a civil hearing on the school forgery and the last of the lien penalties, and then I'm teaching a Saturday paper armor workshop at the rec center. Bring your deed. Bring last month's bill. Bring a pen that stamps. Received. When a vest and a smile show up at my steps, I don't debate. I check numbers, call the real line, and open the right tab. Paper moves forward. So do I. 5. The credit alert pinged at 6:41 a.m. 3 hard pulls in my name. Appliance store, payday lender, and a furniture chain off the highway. I brewed coffee, froze all 3 bureaus, added pins, filed the FTC identity theft affidavit, and printed it twice. Carla attached the affidavit to a police report. Ortiz flagged the polls for the DA's fraud unit. By noon, the furniture chain emailed a denial with a PDF of the driver's license used. My face, wrong address, wrong birth year. I stamped ID theft, locked, and put a freeze reminder on my calendar every 90 days. That afternoon, a drone hovered over my garden like a fat mosquito. I filmed it, then walked the fence line until it drifted toward the cul-de-sac and landed behind a pickup with magnetic signs peeled off. The FAA label on the drone's belly read a tidy alphanumeric. Ortiz rolled up while I photographed the serial. Pilot admitted real estate scouting. He left without his craft. FAA took the report. I added UAS, recorded onto the binder, and strung fishing line above the tomatoes for my own peace of mind. 2 days later, a locksmith van idled at my curb. Reiki order for Helen Gardner, the tech said, stepping out with a pouch of cylinders. I asked for his work order and a callback number. Phone authorization, he shrugged. I put Carla on speaker. She asked him to read the authorizer's phone. Unknown number. The tech called his boss. The boss apologized and blacklisted the request. I scanned the fake order into Soy Locke's attempt. Then drove to the hardware store and had 2 more restricted blanks cut with my key control letter. New rule taped inside the door. No rekeys without written trust authorization. Next week, small claims papers, Brooke suing for domestic labor and improvements totaling $2,900. I showed up with Carla, the stop work photo, the no trespass letter, and the lease packet she'd refused to sign. Judge read, looked over his glasses, and dismissed with prejudice. He granted me $95 in costs and noted for the record that unpermitted work is not an improvement. I smiled for the clerk's receipt and filed. Small claims dismissed. A yellow placard appeared on my porch. Delinquent. Tax sale notice. With a QR code. I didn't scan it. I logged into the county site from the bookmark I trust, saw my balance, $0, homestead applied. I emailed the treasurer a photo of the placard. She forwarded it to her fraud list and mailed me a letter certifying current status. I laminated it and slid it into tax, current years, for future clipboards. The next volley tried the courthouse. An emergency guardianship petition landed on the docket with an affidavit stating I wander at night and misuse medications. Hearing set for 48 hours. Carla moved fast. Physician letter, I see my GP every spring. A notarized declaration from Mr. Jensen that I walk at 6 a.m. with a radio and a dog that isn't mine. And 6 months of pharmacy pickup logs, numbers and dates. The judge denied guardianship on the record and warned counsel about abuse of protective proceedings. We filed the order under time. Guardianship denied, and asked the clerk to add my email to the interested parties list for any ex parte filings. Paper closes doors. A white SUV with city decals came for trash compliance. I met them halfway down the walk with my calendar. Pickup day circled, tag numbers, photos of cans placed after dusk. They took a picture of my picture, apologized, and left. I logged, sanitation, clear, and printed the municipal code to tape by the bins, because code likes code. By then, the beacon kits were real. Manila folders with a cheap USB camera, a laminated one-pager, and 3 pre-printed forms. Civil standby request. No trespass notice. Lease or leave offer. We assembled them at the library with volunteers from the rec center and 2 high schoolers earning service hours. The grant paid for the printers. The librarian labeled them Asset 007 and Asset 008 because she likes jokes. The respiratory therapist upstairs, Rhea, settled like she'd always lived here. Quiet stairs, quiet sink, quiet life. Her autopay hit the fund on the 1st. Her maintenance emails list photos, model numbers, and shutoff valves. She asked before hanging a planter. That's how easy it is when adults read. Brooke tried a softer door. Mom, the kids miss you. Can we meet without lawyers? Text at 7:12 p.m. I answered in 4 lines. Saturdays, even weeks, 10 to 4. Drop off and pick up curbside. No house entry. Message through the portal for changes. She replied, Okay. That Saturday, Mason and Lily arrived with backpacks and questions about tomatoes. We cooked grilled cheese, took meter readings for fun, and stamped fake permits on construction paper clipboards. When they asked why I write so many dates, I said, because dates don't argue. 2 days later, a preacher's wife and a cousin I barely recognized came by with mediation literature. I set a card table on the porch, poured water into paper cups, and slid over the no-contact third-party order. They nodded, folded their literature, and left with their cups. I rinsed the plastic pitcher and put church, visit, documented on a sticky note until I typed it proper. Mid-month, my recorder pinged. Someone searched my parcel at 2:03 a.m. That's not illegal. It's just interest. I ran my own search next morning to test the alert latency. 9 minutes. Good enough. When the county posted the quarterly docket, our fraud cases had moved up. The fake will and the lockbox sign folded into one prosecution under real estate deception. Subpoena arrived for a short Zoom testimony. I said 6 sentences. My name, my address, my trust, the stop work order, the lockbox code text, the clipboard with 3 addresses, done in 5 minutes, the ADA emailed thanks. I printed that too. End of month, I did my audit sweep. Smoke detectors chirp test, GFCI's trip and reset, dryer vent clear, hose bibs drained, cameras firmware updated, credit freezes still in place, carrier passphrase, Mason's 4 ridiculous words, still taped inside the safe. I rewrote the library slide deck to add, don't scan the QR, call the number you already trust, and guardianship abuse, what fast looks like. Brooke texted a photo of the kids at the park after our second Saturday. No caption, just 2 faces and a plastic kite. I saved it in a folder called Kids, Saturdays, and then went back to my checklist. Quiet isn't an accident. It's settings, locks, clauses, and dates, stacked high enough that chaos can't reach the top shelf. 6. The USPS slip hit my mailbox at 8:02 a.m. Change of address confirmation. Forwarding my mail to a P.O. box in Denver I'd never heard of. I drove straight to the post office with my ID, trust papers, and a printed informed delivery screen. The clerk stamped, fraudulent. Across the COA, restored my address, and summoned the postal inspector. We filed PS Form 1500 to block future forwards without in-person ID. I added, mail, COA blocked, to the binder and set daily informed delivery alerts. By lunch, county notices pinged. My homestead exemption, under review. I called the assessor from the number on last year's bill and emailed them my recorded trust deed, driver's license, and a selfie holding the day's paper. Homestead reinstated. The clerk emailed a 1-line confirmation I printed and slid into Homestead active. Next day, a green card arrived from a title company. Notice of mechanics line. For demo and paint. The unpermitted fiasco from week 1. Carla drafted a demand to release invalid line. Cited the statute and warned of fees for slander of title. We recorded the demand before noon. 4 days later, the Leonore filed a release of lien. I taped both to a sheet labeled Lion Quashed. At 7:15 a.m., Ortiz called, "Heads up, someone filed a business tax for short-term rentals at your address." I logged into the city portal and found a bogus STR license application. Unit A, host Brooke. I clicked Report Fraud, then emailed licensing with my trust letter and the duplex permit showing Unit A, owner occupied, and Unit B, no STR. The application died before breakfast. Licensing thanked me and added a note that any future STR at my parcel needs owner-signed, notarized consent. 2 evenings later, Mason's school left a voicemail. Your daughter Brooke updated emergency contacts, replacing you. I called the office, emailed my notarized grandparent pickup authorization, filed at enrollment, and attached the standing no contact through third parties order. Principal reverted the change and locked the file. Owner authority required for emergency contact edits. I printed the lock notice and filed it under AXE, school, authorized. Then came the insurance angle. A claims adjuster called asking about water damage in the upstairs unit. I scheduled a porch visit, lined up photos of dry ceilings, and had Rhea, upstairs tenant, present with her last maintenance email. No leaks, all fixtures tight. The adjuster snapped pictures, laughed at the obvious hustle, and sent me a letter. Fraudulent claim, closed. Into, insurance, clear. Saturday, a USPS carrier brought a second package addressed to property manager, Blue Porch Fund, with 9 cheap notices to vacate and a rubber stamp. Cute. I sealed them, wrote, refused, unknown sender, and handed them back. Later, I bought a little red, refused I stamp for my drawer. Paper goes out as fast as it comes in. Brooke shifted to sweat equity. Her lawyer mailed a demand for $4,200. Caretaking, cleaning, improvements. We replied with the lease she refused, the stop work order, and a ledger of every withdrawal reversed and every fee assessed by the court. Carla's last paragraph was thin and sharp. Any further false instrument filed against Ms. Gardner's parcel triggers $5,000 liquidated damages per the recorded order. No response. Travis tried tech again. A SIM swap attempt hit at 2:11 a.m. The carrier texted my backup number, denied the swap thanks to the in-person flag and passphrase, and logged the store ID that attempted it. I forwarded the audit trail to Detective Cheney. The store clerk resigned. I put SIM block working on a sticky, then typed it proper. Midweek, I scheduled a civil standby so Travis could retrieve tools. He arrived with 2 buddies and a hunger for my garage. I had a typed inventory ready. Items that are theirs. 1 rusty miter saw, a plastic bin of deck screws, torn tarp. The officers checked each tag. Travis left grumbling with the saw and the bin. The tarp I tossed. I put garage, cleared into the binder, and swept the floor for myself. Beacon kits got a V2. We added a laminated QR, call first, card, and a bright yellow. Mechanics line, release template. The library's projector broke mid-presentation, so Mr. Jensen did it the old way. Held up paperwork and read statute numbers the way some folks read recipes. People copied them by hand. It worked. A week later, a foundation auditor in a navy jacket tried the porch. Badge said, State Philanthropy, Oversight. I asked for a statute reference and his supervisor's number. He gave a generic hotline. I called Carla on speaker and waved at the camera. He retreated down the walk, phone to ear. Ortiz rolled by. The jacket kept walking. FAW audit, no statute. Went on its own page. Brooke finally used the lease portal like the judge told her. Maintenance ticket. Kids hear a drip in the upstairs bath. I responded from the trust email. Approved vendor, licensed plumber. Window 1012. Someone must be home. Plumber found a loose trap, tightened it, emailed photos. Ticket closed with a $0 copay per the lease. That's the rhythm now. Request, vendor, receipt, archive. Sunday I noticed a hold mail slip. Someone had set a vacation stop for my address online. I walked to the post office again, presented ID, removed the hold, and set my profile to in-person holds only. The clerk showed me how to add a secret question. I chose one Mason would never forget, and Brooke would never guess. The DA's office consolidated charges: false filing, attempted deed fraud, and real estate deception tied to the lockbox scam. My Zoom testimony lasted 4 minutes this time. The magistrate called the scheme clumsy and set a restitution hearing. I didn't clap. I wrote the date and moved on. Toward month's end, Brooke texted from the portal. "Can we swap Saturdays? Soccer game." I replied, "Approved. Drop 1:30, pick 7:30. No emojis." She answered, "Thanks." At 7:32, she was on time, signed the pickup line on my clipboard, and left. The kids waved through the car window. I waved back with a spatula. Audit sweep day. I tested smoke alarms, walked the fence, checked camera firmware, cycled the porch breaker, verified credit freezes, and reprinted the do not rekey sheet for the entry. I ran the recorder alert test and timed the ping. 8 minutes today. Good. Here's what stuck this round. COA fraud blocked, postal inspector logged, homestead restored, assessor confirmed, mechanics line released, demand recorded, bogus STR license killed, licensing annotated, school contacts locked, pickup authority confirmed, insurance claim shut, letter filed, SIM swap denied, store flagged, civil standby done, garage inventory enforced, faux audits documented, badges photographed, lease portal routine normalized. No drama, just forms that outlast tantrums. Quiet isn't an accident, it's policy. 7. The estate sale sign popped up at dawn. Arrow pointing at my driveway. Date and time set for that very morning. Cars started nosing the curb by 8. I rolled the bin to the sidewalk, taped a sheet to it. No sale here. Scam. Police notified. And called Ortiz. He traced the ad to a burner. A minivan still tried my garage. I lifted the door 6 inches to show the red "No Entry Bar" and dropped it shut. The van slid away. I printed the ad and filed it under E-State, fake. Before lunch, an appraiser rang with a clipboard. Bank ordered valuation for reverse mortgage. I pointed at the plaque and asked for the last 4 of the loan number and the lender's secure callback. He had neither. Porch cam blinked. He left. I emailed my bank officer. She flagged my profile. No loans without in-person appointment. And added a video ID verify required note. Travis pivoted to utilities. A gas safety contractor in a branded hat walked the side yard, saying he had to cap lines for tenant turnover. I asked for his DOT operator number and the work order from the real gas company. He had a laminated badge with no embossing and shoes too clean for crawl spaces. I dialed the real number from last month's bill. They had nothing scheduled. Ortiz arrived before the hat found the sidewalk. Impostor gas. Got a tab. That week, licensing sent me a notice. Complaint filed against the duplex. Illegal locks. Fire egress blocked. We scheduled an inspection. I set out the approved plan, the signed-off permit, and propped the egress windows wide. Inspector measured, nodded, signed a fresh in compliance type sheet. Complaint dismissed, copy to the file. I stapled the dismissal over the anonymous printout. Paper over paper. Restitution hearing, Zoom. DA shared the lockbox board, the fake STR app, the revised will, the text logs. The magistrate read the sum and said, payable to Blue Porch Fund. I watched the number post in the portal a week later. I didn't gloat. I set up sensors, laundry, sink, water heater, and a dead latch guard on the back door. Quiet requires hardware. Next play. A locksmith showed. Riki ordered by daughter. I laid the lease on the porch table, section 4C highlighted. No cash, no keys, owner authorization only. He smiled, thanked me for the clarity, and gave me the caller ID that booked him. I forwarded it to Cheney. Another prepaid SIM, another dead end for someone else. A letter arrived from Senior Relief Mediation. Logo, toll-free number, promise to resolve housing conflict at no cost. Carla looked up the registration. Non-existent. We mailed a cease and desist and logged the envelope. The library used their glossy brochure for our next class. Spot a fake, fonts, footers, footnotes. Mr. Jensen showed how real agencies print statute cites. Scammers don't. Brooke filed a maintenance ticket for noise complaint, downstairs vacuuming too early. I answered from the trust inbox. Quiet hours per lease, 10 p.m., 7 a.m. Next report must include date, time, and 2-minute audio. She didn't reply. She did send the rent on the 1st, memo exactly per the lease. Compliance is a habit you can teach with form letters. School called. Parent authorization to move the kids out of district. Can you confirm? I drove over with the court order and my pickup authorization. The counselor locked their enrollment to require 2-parent plus owner permission for changes. Brooke texted, sorted thanks through the portal. 4 words. Fine. Credit bureaus pinged me. Freeze removal requested. I denied through the apps, then mailed the postal inspector the COA attempt, the freeze pings, and the locksmith log. Bundled evidence carries better than single sheets. A handbill hit my door. Neighborhood watch. Meeting at Gardner's, 7 p.m. With my phone number. I printed a real flyer for the same time. Moved to library room so. At 6:50, half the block arrived. At the library, where Ortiz and the librarian already had coffee out. We turned a nuisance into attendance. Carla prepped a narrow civil claim. Slander of title, time and fees, tied to the fake lien and will. We filed it. 2 weeks later, their lawyer offered to settle with an apology letter and costs. We took the money and recorded the apology with the settlement attachment. Public record, short and clean. I hardened the soft spots, installed a hinge-side security pin, swapped the side gate screws for tamper-proof heads, added window pin locks on ground floor sashes, dropped a Faraday pouch by the door for any new officials who asked to scan my phone. I printed a vendor verify sheet. Company, last 4 of work order, callback on a verified website, license number, badge embossing, and taped it inside the screen door. Clinic upgrades came next. We added 2 more scripts. 4. Freeze your credit. Unfreeze only for minutes. 5. Record your signature baseline, DMV, bank card, and a notarized specimen. Keep copies. The librarian's new label maker hummed. People left with tidy folders. No speeches, just kits. Brooke sent another portal message. Kids' soccer tourney out of town. Can we swap pickup to Sunday? I replied with a single line and a calendar screenshot showing the change. She attached a PDF, weekend schedule. With the new times circled, we both sign-clicked in the portal. That's how it should have always been. Dates, not drama. The next morning, an envelope wedged under my wiper. Consent to access. Annual inspection. With a cheap seal. No letterhead embossing. Wrong city logo. I emailed housing. They confirmed no inspection scheduled. I saved it in fake notices and ordered a dash cam for when I drive to the bank and recorder. Evidence doesn't argue. It shows. By month's end, the county recorder emailed a warning about a new statewide deed fraud portal. I signed up, added my parcel, and tested it. Ping hit in 6 minutes. Faster than last time. Good. Travis tried one last angle. A work-performed invoice tucked in their rent envelope. Bulb changes, snow shoveling, $265 total, to be netted from rent. I returned the envelope with Section 7B, highlighted. Owner authorizes vendors. Tenant maintenance is included in rent. He paid the full balance online. Portal habits beat kitchen arguments. Here's the final stack from this round. Estate sale ad neutralized. Neighbors rerouted. Reverse mortgage appraiser turned away. Account flagged. Gas imposter stopped. Utility verified. Anonymous code complaint dismissed. New compliance letter posted. Restitution posted to the trust. Sensors installed. Locksmith scam logged. Caller ID to detectives. Fake mediation shut. Used as teaching material. Credit freeze holds strong. Postal Plus credit evidence bundled. Neighborhood meeting co-opted. Library attendance up. Slander of title settlement paid and recorded. Vendor verify sheet posted. Hardware hardened. Portal-only communications normalized. Rent and schedules clean. I don't trade insults. I staple results. The upstairs door closes soft. The panel labels glow in the flashlight. The tomatoes need tying, so I tie them. If a new trick shows up, it gets a name, a tab, and a date. Then it gets smaller. Paper wins. Every time. 8. The last push came with a glossy postcard. Community Appreciation Barbecue at Helen's. All welcome. My address, my porch, my Saturday. I walked it to Ortiz, who rolled his eyes and posted a short note on Nextdoor. Event moved to Library Room B. We supplied lemonade and a projector. Half the town learned how to freeze credit, while the scammers grilled nothing on my lawn. That same week, the magistrate closed the criminal file on the forged will and fake listings. Restitution complete. Community service assigned to the man with the clipboard badge. Brooke and Travis stood in the hallway afterward, not looking for hugs. We're done, Brooke said. We'll see you through the portal. Good. We shook hands. No speeches. I finished the house the way I wanted it finished. The duplex split passed its final audit. I framed the embossed approval beside the Blue Porch Fund certificate. Electric company swapped in separate meters and a smart monitor. Water got ultrasonic sensors on the heater pan and under the kitchen sink. A laminated shut-off map went inside the pantry door with arrows and phone numbers. Then I did succession. Carla met me at the kitchen table with 2 fountain pens and a notary stamp. I executed a springing power of attorney. Limited, financial only. Triggers on physician letter. Successor trustee order. Me, then Carla, then Mr. Jensen, then the librarian. She accepted with a smile and a cookie. I stored sealed copies at the bank and in a safe at the library off-site. If a storm ever hits, the paper knows where to walk. The grandkids came over that Friday. Mason helped mount the new door closer on Unit B. Lily labeled the breaker for their bedrooms with neat block letters. B3. They didn't ask about the past. They asked for popsicles and the screwdriver with the blue handle. That's how I like it. Work, snacks, order. Brooke kept to the lease. Rent landed on the 1st with the correct memo. One maintenance request arrived, dripping faucet upstairs, through the portal at 7:12 a.m. with a photo, model number, and 2-minute video. I answered at 8:01. Licensed plumber, Wednesday, 10:12. He came, replaced a cartridge, sent a digital invoice to the trust. I clicked pay. Nothing messy. Travis tried a last detour. Garden fence encroaches. Survey shows 11 inches. I pulled the county GIS, the old iron pins, and my 1989 survey. The fence sits true. I posted the PDFs to the portal with 3 photos and a note. Boundary confirmed. No change. Silence. Sometimes clarity is the cure. The clinic grew past the folding tables. We said a simple pledge on one sheet. Call the number on last month's bill. No cash, no keys. Lease or leave. Freeze credit, log pings. Photograph uniforms, not faces alone. Record your signature baseline. Post the iTeam. Vendor verify sheet. People signed, not like a club, like a plan. The librarian added a locked drawer labeled Hype. Binders, take 1. Ortiz started calling Tuesdays his happy hour because no one yelled. They took notes. In late summer, I ran a stress test. At 9:00 a.m., I filed a harmless document on my own parcel. By 9:07, the deed alert pinged. At 9:10, I pulled the breaker on the porch light. The photocell returned to duty when I flipped it back. At 9:20, I tested every deadbolt with the spare key and logged the numbers. At 9:30, I checked the dash cam card. 10 minutes later, I drank coffee on the steps and watched a goldfinch work the coneflowers. Quiet isn't luck. It's the sum of small, boring habits. 2 letters arrived the same day. The first was from the DA. Case closed, record sealed, victim impact noted. Thank you for cooperating. I filed it under SIGN. DA, final. The second was from Brooke. No theatrics, plain paper, her cursive tidier than I remembered. Mom, we signed a lease on a place in town starting next spring. We'll finish our term here and move out clean. Thank you for keeping the door open for the kids. We'll stick to the portal. B. I placed it behind the apology, then stapled a note. Move out walkthrough, April 30th, 10 a.m. Date boxes like fence posts. April came. Unit B was cleared and mopped. I walked it with a clipboard. Paint intact, outlets covered, smoke detectors chirp tested, keys tagged and dropped in the tray. Security deposit returned minus a drip tray I had to replace. We took a porch photo with the grandkids holding a tomato start each. Then they drove away with the same furniture they'd brought in, plus one new habit. They email when something matters. I kept the upstairs vacant for a month on purpose. Not out of spite, out of gratitude. I painted trim, sharpened pruners, oiled hinges. I threw nothing. I archived. The Kabi House. Title. Folder grew a final tab. Playbook. It's 1 page. 1. Photograph the problem. 2. Call the real number on the last bill. 3. Require paper. 4. Route everything through the lease or trust inbox. 5. Escalate once. Document always. 6. Teach someone else what you learned. On the first Tuesday of May, we hosted a bigger clinic. The retired Marine from down the block brought coffee. The appraiser who'd been turned away came back, in uniform this time, to explain how legit orders look. The librarian unveiled a bulletin board titled Quiet Wins and pinned up dismissals, receipts, and a deed alert screenshot. Folks clapped. No speeches, just the sound of chairs scooting and pens uncapping. That evening, I screwed a tiny brass plate to the inside of the front door. Under the plaque, the clipboards read, Helen M. Gardner, Pine Hollow, Co. This home runs on dates, stamps, and neighbors. I'm 68. I don't shout. I date things. If someone hands me a schedule that puts me in my own kitchen like staff, I turn on Beacon and let forms walk. If a vest knocks, I ask for a permit and call the real number. If a lie floats, I pin it to a board and label it fake. If my town needs a script, I print it large and tape it to a folding table. The tomatoes are staked. The breaker labels glow. The trust rent auto pays the library room fee without me touching a thing. And when Sundays come, I read on the porch until the light softens, and I leave the dishes to soak just because I can. Paper wins. Then you teach it to someone else.